I'm Ben Reuler. I'm the proud founder and CEO of In the Area Productions. In 2015, I started a new job in Seattle as the executive director of a local nonprofit organization. In my first few weeks on the job, I get an email from our banker wanting to do lunch. With all due respects to bankers, I was a little skeptical. But I met today's guest speaker, Nick, at a Mexican restaurant in Capitol Hill. He rolled in a long winter wool coat, his bow tie. He knew exactly what to order, and we started chatting it up. He was super friendly, kind of schmoozing me a little bit. We talked about work and kids and Little League. But my guard was still a little bit up, like, okay, what's this dude's angle here? Nearly a decade later, I can confidently say what Nick's angle was. It was just being a damn good banker and showing up in authentic relationship with the client, period. No small print, no ulterior motive. So since that lunch almost a decade ago, I have had the pleasure of seeing Nick Anderson show up consistently, week in and week out, year in and year out, for me, for so many others, and for his community. I used to host a session throughout the state of Washington, mostly in the greater Seattle area, about what it means to serve on a nonprofit board of directors. And I would always ask Nick to come volunteer to help lead a session there. I could always count on him to come through. And I always asked you, Nick, to lead the most boring topic, financial and legal responsibilities of nonprofit board members. But his sessions always got the best survey results. Our participants love Nick's sessions. Nick nominated me for the Leadership Tomorrow program, which changed my life. He didn't get anything out of that. When I was stuck as a new ED in over my head with finances, Nick took me under his wing, mentored me, coached me in his office, helped review spreadsheets with me. Assets to liabilities ratio, right, Nick? He really empowered me. Nick's somebody who never seems too busy, never put out, always gracious, always weaving relationships, connecting me and others to one another. I've known Nick for almost a decade, but the only problem I've had with him was that the dude kept getting promoted. So at one point, he sort of handed us off to one of his direct reports because he kept getting, higher and higher up the chain. And I won't lie, I was kind of sad about losing Nick as our banker. But guess what? To no surprise, Nick's people were great, and they loved Nick. At the start of the pandemic, before the vaccines kicked in, everyone was reeling, and there were those PPP loans, which I'm sure many of you are all familiar with. Remember that Paycheck Protection Program? So Nick was managing a team that was managing PPP loan applications for dozens and dozens of clients during a pandemic. And I'll never forget, Nick's direct report, our new banker Liz, came to my house for a signature with her mask on at my door, sort of handing me papers, social distancing early in the pandemic. And I was trying to get Reed, I was picking her brain like, how are you and the team faring? Like, you've got a lot on your plate during a very intense time. And to no surprise, she raved about Nick's leadership, how Nick was setting a positive tone for his team, and they were all rallying together. I think anybody can lead on a good day, but here was Nick anchoring his team after a merger, during a pandemic, and during this unprecedented bureaucratic and new terrain that was the PPP loans, and he was crushing it. Now, I've always loved Nick and respected this guy, but really I think it wasn't until that moment that Liz was on my front porch raving about her boss that I truly came to appreciate the magic that is Nick Anderson. His banking career spanned 2.5 decades. Nick's had every title you can think of: senior vice president, managing director, and on and on and on. He is the founder of Chosen Leader, where he supports the growth and development of leaders everywhere. Nick's the author of the book, 6 Word Lessons for Middle Managers. He's a graduate of the Pacific Coast Banking School, was named one of the banking industry's rising stars. He holds a master's in nonprofit leadership from Seattle University. Nick was named to the Puget Sound Business Journal's prestigious 40 Under 40 list. He's also an alumnus of Seattle's acclaimed civic leadership program, Leadership Tomorrow. And he is my friend, my beloved friend. Please join me in welcoming Nick Anderson.
There you go, buddy. All right, man. Love you, man.